Africa's leading oil and gas producer is looking to replace its archaic and underutilized refining capacity with the aim of becoming a global player. Nigeria, Africa's most populous country, is estimated to hold approximately 37 billion barrels of proven oil reserves, the second largest reserves in Africa and 10th most petroleum-rich nation in the world. However, the country imports the majority of its refined products due to lack of domestic refining capacity. Nigeria averages around 1.8 to 2.5 million barrels in daily crude oil production, but its 4 refineries have a combined refining capacity of only around a quarter of that. A measly 445,000 million barrels per day. One is a relic from before independence from the UK in 1960, while the others were built in the 1970s and 1980s. Just as depressing is the fact that each of the plants operate at a level far below their full capacity. Data from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) reveals that a refinery facility in the northwestern state of Kaduna did not refine a single barrel between February 2018 to January 2019. As a result, the NNPC has resorted to the so-called direct sale direct purchase program. This entails exchanging crude oil for imported fuel using selected independent marketers in a process often fraught with fraud. Dangote's refinery, with its capacity to process about 650,000 barrels per day of crude oil, is marketed as a more economical solution to the supply-demand gap. The Dangote refinery is an oil refinery owned by the Dangote Group that is under construction in Lekki, Nigeria. The refinery is expected to increase Nigeria's refining capacity twofold and help meet the increasing domestic fuel demand while generating foreign exchange through exports. Nigerian businessman and billionaire Aliko Dangote unveiled early plans for the refinery in September 2013 when he announced that he had secured about $3.3 billion in financing for the project. At the time of announcement, the refinery was estimated to cost about $9 billion, of which $3 billion would be invested by the Dangote Group and the remainder via commercial loans, and begin production in 2016. However, after a change in location to Lekki, construction of the refinery did not begin until 2016, with excavation and infrastructure preparation, and the planned completion was pushed back to late 2018. In July 2017, major structural construction began, and Dangote estimated that the refinery would be mechanically complete in late 2019 and commissioned in early 2020. According to Reuters, construction was likely to take at least twice as long as Dangote publicly stated, with partial refining capability not likely to be achieved until 2022. An associated project at the site of the refinery, a urea fertilizer factory, is scheduled to begin operation this year and produce about 3 million tons of urea annually. The refinery is situated on a 6,180 acres site at the Lekki Free Zone, Lagos State. It will process about 650,000 barrels of crude oil daily, transported via pipelines from oil fields in the Niger Delta, where natural gas will also be sourced to supply the fertilizer factory and be used in electrical generation for the refinery complex. The project is expected to cost up to $15 billion in total, with $10 billion invested in the refinery, $2.5 billion in the fertilizer factory, and $2.5 billion in pipeline infrastructure. The refinery, which will be the biggest on the continent when completed, is also set to be the largest single-train petroleum refinery in the world. At full production, the facility will be able to produce 50 million liters of gasoline and 17 million liters of diesel daily, as well as aviation fuel and plastic products. The major contractors involved in the project are Engineers India, which is the engineering, procurement, and construction contractor for the project. Honeywell UOP was contracted for the supply of catalyst regeneration and dryer regeneration control systems, column trays, heat exchanger tubes, a modular CCR unit, and catalyst coolers, among other equipment. C&I Leasing was contracted for providing transportation and installation services for mooring systems and subsea pipelines of the refinery. Hangxiao Steel Structure Company received a $112 million contract to provide steel structure for the refinery. Jan de Nul Group was engaged for carrying out land reclamation works. Also, MAN Diesel and Turbo was contracted for supplying 2 compressor trains, while Air Liquide Engineering and Construction was contracted for supplying the SMR units. With a greater capacity than the total output of Nigeria's existing refining infrastructure, the Dangote refinery will be able to meet the country's entire domestic fuel demand, as well as export refined products. According to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, it plans to add another 215,000 barrels per day to the capacity of existing state-owned refineries. To further close the supply-demand gap, the government has also granted licenses for 38 modular refineries. 2 of them were launched in 2018, and 8 more are in various stages of completion. With this developments, Africa's leading oil producer is set to become a global player in the oil industry. If you enjoyed this video and would like to get more from a definitive information about trends and mega constructions projects in Africa, subscribe to the New Africa channel so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.